time to fix an antifreeze leak we have in the Bonneville supercharged. It's coming from a elbow that is right down there. It's kind of hard to see it underneath the supercharger. This is the only instance where that supercharger really gets in the way. Otherwise, it's a pleasure to have. But we'll start tearing it down and we'll see how far we get. I've gone ahead and pulled a few things off. Sitting around here just to dig in there to see if I can get at it. The elbow that we're trying to get at is that one right here. That one's leaking antifreeze coming out of the front of the intake, and it's kind of weird. It goes into the belt tensioner system and out the back in the heater hose. I don't know why GM thought they would run their heater hoses through that, but as you can see, I'm not there yet, and I've got to get that belt tensioner assembly loose so I can get that 45-degree elbow out of there. So we'll keep digging. So I've got it all loose here, as you can see. But of course, I had to use the car to go get the parts this morning, get that elbow, and it's blasted hot. There's another elbow down there, and those two have to come out at the same time. I don't want to bust the other one trying to take this trouble top one off. In hindsight, I should have bought the other elbow as well so I could just do them both, but oh well, the parts store is 7 miles away. So what I'm doing at the same time is, while I'm going to take the antifreeze out of it, I'm also going to replace the thermostat. Last year at some time I had a code come up on the car that I forget the wording, it said something about not reaching desired operating temperature properly or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this thermostat. It's been in there for a while. This is it's very hot as well. My fingers are screaming. It is a 185, and I'm going to replace it with the same. Yeah, that one's one. See, I can't even read. 195, and replace it with the same thing. 195 over here. So there's my elbow, and there's my gasket for my thermostat, and we will continue on here. I'll clean up those surfaces and put the thermostat in, and wait for it to cool down. I'm gonna have to go have a coffee in between. Talk in a bit. Got that back together. That wasn't no big deal. You can see on top of that thermostat housing, there's a bleeder screw that to let the air out after, because the rad is actually in this car is lower than the engine, so the air has to come out, and you got to bleed it out over there. Still too blasted hot. Want to be real careful not to break that other elbow, and I can't grab it and hold on to it properly and try to wiggle it out nicely without burning my hands. So it is coffee time. So while we're waiting, yeah, the coffee's hot too. What we're working on is a 2000 Bonneville SSEi. The I is a supercharged version of that year, and it's quite a nice car. I like it. I've got about 250,000 kilometers on it, and it's been a really good car. I've had to replace one mass air sensor and the back brakes, and that's about it. It's done really, really well. Does really good on fuel. Lots of power for a little car, and yeah, really happy with it. A while ago, my wife says, well, she wants to plug in her iPhone into her stereo like I do on my pickup. So I replaced the factory deck, and that was a job that I don't know if I'd want to tackle again. It's got these separate key fobs, so that driver 1 and driver 2, if you unlock the doors with whichever key fob, it tunes the car to that driver. It changes the seat, changes the mirrors, changes the radio station, the heat controls, everything. You can see stuff moving in the car when you unlock it. Actually, I can probably show you with the seat here. If I unlock it, these are the wife's keys, and I was just driving it. See that seat go ahead and move right back to where it's supposed to be for her. Everything else in the car changes too. Now it's got OnStar, and the chimes for the keys and stuff, they also go through your speaker. So that has to be hooked through the stereo. So I bought an Alpine. The box is still here. It's just a regular Alpine head unit. Really good one. I've got one in my pickup as well. Really like it, so I figured I'd put one in here. I bought it online for about 170 bucks. But I had to put this unit in between to interface the OnStar and the chimes and everything, and it retains also the feature where once you stop the car, shut off the key, the stereo doesn't turn off until you open the door. That all works fine, but she also wanted to keep her steering wheel controls for the stereo, so that required another interface. And after fighting with that one for a while, I found out the unit was defective. I had to send it back, so I'm waiting for that. So the stereo is working. It's in and working. It actually sounds really good. It goes through the factory amplifier, and it sounds very good. Fit in there pretty nice. And it's got the cable coming out for the iPod, or the iPhone, or whatever you want to plug into it. So I'm waiting for that. But that was an adventure in itself, getting that all set up. And in the process, I blew a fuse, and of course the battery and the fuse box for that are underneath the back seat, so you got to take the back seat out. And yeah, it's got a lot of bells and whistles, but once it goes wrong, it's a big problem as well. So that's a little bit of history in the car while we're waiting for it to still cool down, and well, I guess we'll wait some more. Not being a guy of great patience, I went ahead and took a rag and wrapped that thing and pulled it off. And you can see here, if you look down at the bottom, there's that one that is the second one. Here's the top one, and you can see what has happened. If you look at the bottom one, there's an O-ring with a little bit of a piece on top of that. This one here, that O-ring piece has broken off right at that O-ring, and that piece is, let's see if I can get in there for you. That O-ring piece is still right in there. Now I've got to see if I can pick that piece out of my intake and get it ready for putting the new one in. And yeah, it's still steaming, so my hands don't like me. That wasn't too bad. I used a seal pick. There you can see the O-ring and the piece that was left inside. The pieces broke off, and with a seal pick I was able to just get in there and just gently work it out. And now if you look in there, you'll see it's nice and clean, ready for the new one. We'll see if we can get this piece out of here. We'll lube up the new one that I've got over here with I think I'll put some dielectric grease on there and slide it in and see if we can put it all back in without wrecking nothing else. That would be pretty pleasant. Well, lucky, it's back in. There's the new one down there. There's the old one there. Like I said, I just put some dielectric grease on them, some tune-up grease. So they slide in without binding, and it's actually slid in very nice. So time to put the bolts back into the assembly there and start sticking her back together. So there we have it. It's all back together. Put the recovery tank in, alternator back on, hooked everything back up, put the support bracket on. It all looks good. Put the fancy engine cover back on and fill it with antifreeze, and cross our fingers. Let's hope we got it fixed. Note here, as I'm adding antifreeze, I backed off that bleeder screw and allowing the air to escape as the antifreeze runs in from the bottom rad hose into the engine. And you can actually hear the air coming out there as I'm adding antifreeze. So I'm going to keep on adding here and try to get as much air out as possible. Then we'll have to start it up and bleed some more air off. Now here's what I was saying about the antifreeze and that air bleeder screw. As you can see, the antifreeze is full. It's right up. And we watch the air bleeder screw. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but that top rad hose is all full of air yet. And that's where the rad is lower than the engine. Now we've got to try and get that out. If I was in a shop, I would probably put it on a hoist and crank the front end up to try and put the rad higher than the engine, and that would allow me to bleed more air. But we haven't got that in my garage here at home, so we'll just fire it up and let it idle and see if we can bleed some more out. Let's go start her up. Fires up, And lucky, we can put some more in. Okay, I think I got most of the air out. I'm going to back this off here, and you'll see some antifreeze going on there. Like that. So I think we got most of it out. It'll take a while. I'll put some in a recovery bottle, so when it cools off, it'll suck some more in, and slowly work the air out. And we'll put the engine cover back on and take her for a boot. Okay, so I've had it running for a while, cleaned up some tools, and it's at operating temperature now, so I know the thermostat's open and let the antifreeze through. It's starting to build pressure. I've got the cap back on, and if we're looking, I don't know if you can see it, I'll get my hands to the fan blade. It is nice and dry down there. It looks like we've got her licked. We'll keep an eye on it here the next couple of days as the wife drives it, and should be alright. I'm going to go get my truck back, give her car back, and get some more stuff done today. So there we go. Those are the parts we replaced today. It's actually due for an oil change. Well, here in the next while I'll leave it. I got too much other stuff to do today, and I still got a while left on that, on the oil change. So that's not too bad. We look at the time. I was at the dealer about 8 o'clock. Back here and started working about 8:30, waiting for it to cool down. So whatever, just over an hour. Got all that done. Wasn't a bad job at all. I was actually expecting worse out of that big assembly on the side there, but it wasn't too bad. Alrighty, thanks for watching. See you later.